Hey guys, it's Jonah here once again, and I'm back with a beer review, and I'm back upstairs in the kind of the spare room of doom, and yeah, we're back with the Scandinavian Beer 52 box, and I recently found out that the next beer I'm going to do, it was a choice of two beers, to be honest. We've got two to all beers left, but I thought we would do this one, the Orbital movement. And a lot of people have said this is the absolute best beer in the box this month. So I thought, yeah, why not? It's a hazy IPA, 6%, which is pretty cool. It has, where are we? Whoop, these boys, Strata, Citra, Chinook, and Simcoe. It says this hazy IPA bursting with fruit flavors, tropical fruits, pineapple, guava, mango, plus apricot and mandarin, all of which come from the hops, so no additions here. It's very hoppy but not bitter. The fruitiness comes across as natural fruit, gummy fruit, and a hint of yeast esters. All from the Denmark. So this one is already surfing the sea of haze, as it were, purple haze, and it's one of those trippy kind of trippy things. There we go. Orbital movement, hazy IPA. And I don't know why. I really don't know why they've gone for these kind of weird labels. But why not? Right. Let's try not to get this absolutely everywhere. Oh, lovely jubbly. Right, let's get this bad boy in a glass for you all. It's getting, wow, there's a bit of an echo in here. Got the camera very close to me today. Oh, and the other really good thing is this is a 440 can. Not one of those mincy little cans. Cool. And we have an easy finger of nice head, and this is just pure juice. There is nothing coming from there at all. Oh, look at that. Lovely, lovely, fluffy white clouds. And it smells like a fruit juice. It really does. I mean, look at that. Look at that beer. Absolutely ridiculous. Let's dive in. Ooh. And it is, yeah, very hoppy up front. Oh, but smooth as anything. So this is probably going to have my two favourites, he says, looking on his can. I mean, very, very small writing there, but I'm pretty sure that's oats and wheat, which is what all the good hazy IPA people do. Oh, really, really hoppy up front. Then the Simcoe comes through, but not super like Simcoe. I mean, there's shed loads of hops in there. And then the finish is quite long, but very silky smooth. Um, Putting oats in beer. I mean, if you think about it, stouts and porters and stuff, that was where people put oats in a lot of time to help with the mouthfeel. But whoever thought of doing it with IPAs and that kind of style beer, and you're not worried about it being cloudy, oh, carbonated. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just creates this super smooth mouthfeel. Oh, very cool. let's dive in for more. Oh, yeah, a little bit of residual sweetness that I'm getting now. Could be because it's 6%. You're pushing the yeast a little bit, but I can't really detect too many yeasty kind of ester things in there. I mean, there's so much else in this beer. Really, really nice, actually. Really smooth, juice-like, but not over. It's not a juice bomb, put it that way. It's really hoppy without being very bitter. This is, I mean, at 6%, this is a really, really easy drinking beer. This goes down far too easily. Trying to create a little bit of kind of lacing on the glass for you. I mean, there's a little bit you can see it's frosted up the glass a bit because this one's been in the fridge. Little bit of lacing, and I tried to create some more there, but nothing really to write home about, which is weird considering it's got oats and wheat in it, which helps with head retention, helps with foam as well, which is really cool. I mean, there is a little bit of juice. You're left with a sort of juicy taste, but it's a sweet kind of juicy taste in your mouth. Like yeah, like they say, chewing on gummies and that kind of thing. Trying to find that apricot and stuff in there, but it's such a mix of hops. Picking one out is difficult. Um, Definitely getting that kind of orangey thing, um, juicy orange, juicy pineapple, that kind of thing. Um, and there are other things happening, but picking all the tastes out, hey, you know what I'm like. I just like drinking beer. Oh. And yeah, I wonder if it's got like cryo hops or some of the new style of hopping, not just with pellets or loose hops anymore, but with chemically kind of altered hop products, which are kind of storming the market these days. I was listening, and it's quite an old school thing to do, but I listened to a podcast and I heard the most funny thing that people were carrying around. And I don't know if this is any particular people, but I guess they're beer snobs, who knows, carrying around very small little vials of hop oil in their pocket when they go out for a beer, just in case they can't find a really heavily hopped IPA and decide to have, maybe a lager or something like that, or just a normal pale ale. I should put that down, and I should pick this bad boy up because that's what we're talking about, the Orbital movement beer. Shall I go for a zoom in? I didn't do it earlier on, but let me go for a zoom in. Wow. There we go. Barley, wheat, oats. 6%, right in the middle. But if your language is not on there, then my God, you've missed out. Orbital movement, hazy IPA. Yeah, see, people were carrying around these little vials of hop oil, and then they were buying like basically really pale ales or lagers maybe, and then taking a wee sip, and then guess what? Adding some drops, and in some cases, adding a lot of drops to their beer to try and hop charge their lager, to make it more palatable. Um, how just absolutely ridiculous is that? However, I have to say, I sometimes go into a bar and look at what's on offer, and I'm like, Jesus, what is this? And in those situations, I do one of two things. I either have a Guinness, because Guinness is usually available in a lot of places. Like, you know, anywhere that has beer will probably have Guinness, unless it's one of the other two. Um, but you don't find Beamish anymore. Murphy's is around, and sometimes you find like an oatmeal stout or something. But Guinness, you can more or less get in any bar you go into. Or I go for a bottle from the fridge at the back. And sometimes it's not a beer at all. Sometimes it's a cider. But I always find that bottled beers in pubs, you get a much better quality and a much better variety than perhaps you would do with their draft beer or even their cask beer. And don't forget, I now live in Kent, um, and more or less every other three pubs is Shepherd Neame, and sometimes people who work for Shepherd Neame, i.e., the barman or the landlords, they do not keep their beer very well, and yeah, it's not unheard of to have a really bad, awful pint. And I've had one of those very, very recently and paid well over £5 for that beer, and it tasted absolutely shit. So guess what? Pint of Guinness, please, mate. It's my absolute staple. Anyway, guys, I know I've gone over 10 minutes now, so this has been a slightly longer one. Cheers and beers, for the Orbital Movement Hazy IPA from Dahl over in Denmark. This, if you can get hold of, is a really, really nice beer. 6% is not too strong, but it's not too weak either, and it's in a slightly larger can. Shame on from Unclejona.